welcome to the Introduction to Economics. Now, this is your introductory course, first course in your whole life that you're ever going to do in economics. And I want you to know that economics is a very interesting subject, probably a subject that you might even take at a higher level when you go to junior college. And it's one of those subjects that can help you carry on, to go on to university. So take my word for it, it's a very interesting subject, and if you can spend time into studying this subject, you will not regret. Alright? So let's go on to what this whole thing in economics is all about. Fact number one, anything that you make, whether it's a chair or a cupboard or a table, anything that you do or you want to make, anything that you want to make needs resources. And that's the word there, resources, that I want you to look at. Resources. Now these resources are things like water, wood, sand. These things are the ingredients or the resources that goes into making all sorts of things that you want. Alright? Without any of these resources, you cannot make anything. Okay? Now, why am I telling you about resources? Resources in this world is limited. Okay? It cannot be gotten forever and ever and ever. It is not renewable. Many of them are not renewable, like metal. Some of them are renewable, like trees. You can plant them again and they can become big again, and then you can use the wood from those trees, right? Those are called renewable resources. But most of the resources like water and sand and those are not renewable resources. Okay? Now, and those are limited. So you can have as much as you want. Okay? But resources, unfortunately, is not endless in supplies. Okay? So this creates a problem. Alright? This does create a big problem because resources is not endless in supply. So, fact number two, the trouble with humans is that we have unlimited wants. That means we want everything. We want many things. We want to possess as much as we can. Things, everything, okay? And from the previous fact, you know that resources are needed to make things. But resources are not endless in supply. But on the other hand, we have unlimited wants. We want everything. So we seem to have a problem here. Okay, the resources are limited. We cannot have everything because of limited resources. However, there's one thing that we do know, and that is that biologically, we don't need everything. Okay, for instance, how many bowls of rice can we eat one day? 3 bowls of rice, 2 bowls of rice. Okay, I say rice because we are Asians. Okay, you only need maybe 2. Me, at my age, I'm in my mid-40s. I only need 2 bowls of rice a day. I don't need 10 bowls. I don't want every single rice on this earth. I don't need that, right? So there is a difference between what you want, okay, what you want, and what you need. Okay, what you need, you are limited by biological needs. What you want, you have unlimited ones because of your desires. Okay, so here's the problem. Case number one. If we have limited resources and we have unlimited wants, how are we going to decide who gets what? Who gets what resources? Okay, so I bring up case number one, which is, and it is a case out of China. Okay, I love talking about China for various reasons, and you will find that I will speak continuously in many of my in my class. If you do come to my class, you will find that I would have many examples of China, because it is in many ways an economic miracle. Alright? And other than the fact that we are Asians, I think China is a case that we should study very closely, because it has many good economic examples that we can learn from. Alright? So this is China. and their national anthem is very rousing. It's 起来, 起来, rise up, rise up. Okay, my grandmother's days, my grandmother was from China. She would be very patriotic, and she would tell me many things about China. And there's one thing about China that we know, that there are millions, wait a minute, not millions, but billions of people. If I can remember, today, China has a population of roughly 1.2 billion humans, okay? Mostly Chinese, right? And the president of China is Hu Jintao, Mr. Hu Jintao, right? Mr. Hu Jintao. Now, Mr. Hu Jintao, in case one, has this problem in his hands, and that he's got these limited resources in his hands, then he needs to allocate either to the army or to the farmers. So who and how is he going to allocate this limited resources to the unlimited ones of the farmers as well as the army? So think about it. In such a situation, there can be two methods to allocate these resources. One is that he could, through strong arming or through what we call central command or central authority, the government decides. The government here decides. The government says, okay, we will give all the resources to the army because we have to fight an imminent war in the South China Sea, maybe, a war that unrest between China and Japan, right now. Maybe he might decide to put more resources to building up the army, okay? And typically when more resources are given to one sector of the economy, to the detriment of the other economy, someone's going to be not very happy, but he probably has to run, like the Chinese say, run, suffer, okay? Oops, maybe the wrong Chinese word, I think I better cancel it. Okay, so the other part of the economy might suffer. In this case, it might be the farmers that suffer, and you can see how unhappy the farmer is. See how unhappy he is because he's getting no resources as opposed to the army, who's getting 100% of the resources. Okay, so that's one way the government can give precious resources to, and that's by commanding. Okay, say, oh, army gets 100% and the Chinese farmer gets nothing. However, there can be another method. Two, President Hu Jintao can say, well, maybe we should just let it to all these resources. How shall we distribute resources? Okay, let's use the price method. The price method, which is this one. Price method, okay? In this method, whoever bids the highest price gets the resources. Simple as that, okay? Whoever can bid for the highest and whoever can afford to pay the highest price gets the resources, alright? Now, it appears that between this method, the price method, and this method, government decides or government commands method, it always ends up, question that ends up always is it, no matter what the method is it fair? Is it equitable? Is it a good use of resources? These are the questions. Is it efficient to allocate resources in this manner? These are the questions that you need to think about when you study economics. Alright? Efficiency, equity, is it fair or not? Who's not going to be happy in this economy? What implication does it have for future economic growth? These are the questions that we often think about in economics. Okay, so in the market you can have either a price method or a central command method, which is actually really the government telling you where the resources should be going. Okay, so here I have case 2. Case 2. what you see here is a piece of land, right? And this piece of land is valuable enough as a resource for 3 different industries. So let's say that first industry may be, so say this industry. Okay, drawing not so good. I can draw it nicer. Okay, so whatever this is, let's call this the zoo. Alright, the zoo. Zoo, oops. Doesn't want it to make it look like Satan, huh? So let's say the zoo. Put a large nose here. That's better. Okay, looks more like an animal. And then there is the car industry.